All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into week 5 of the Rack Me podcast. I'm your host, the leader, the captain that steers the ship, Chad Zumock. With me is Ken Mosca, Tony Mazer, and joining us, two very special guests, two favorites of the program, fan favorites. The people love these guys. From Denver, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brandt Tobler, and from Los Angeles, California, Earl Skakel. How's it going?
We're comedy soldiers.
We're here. You need us, we're here.
Good to have you guys.
What's great about Brandt and Earl is they're two guys that keep it real, and I like that in comedy. They're very few and far between.
Earl's he's in LA where nobody keeps it real. He's a real soldier out there. But you know what, Denver, I got to admit, they don't keep it that real here either. They're real soft out here.
This town is so fake. I once roast battled a pedophile, and I called him fat, and they yelled at me for body shaming him. Like, what? Like, what?
Any update on Earl? Before we get started? Any update on Golden Artist Entertainment with Dante?
Well, Dante just posted he's now the 133rd ranked manager in the business. Like, who posts that? Like I could see if like you were number 5. That's you're up there with 3 Arts or whoever, Barry Katz, or I don't know. Barry's probably not even in the top 100 anymore. But like, and then he posts like 2 hours later, hey, does anyone know the casting director of Real Housewives? I have a client for them. Like, if you're such a big manager, I think you could get that intel on your own.
Do you ever see him, Earl?
I don't,
because I got into it with him too, and then he was talking shit to me. I was like, we're all easy to find. We post where we're going to be every single week. If you want to actually find me, I'm not hard to find. You could plan for the next 6 months where I'm going to be at. He's just such a fucking loser, man.
I mean, I know we're all a little delusional. Like, we all think we're going to make it. And, of course, making it's different to probably all 4 of us. Or was it 5 of us. But our delusion is based in reality, I think. Like, his is like you repped Ron Jeremy for 10 years. The guy's like in the Rapist Hall of Fame. Like, oh, I didn't know. Okay, cool. Like, that's literally saying I didn't know Wayne Gretzky played hockey. Like, it's out of control.
Where's the Rapist Hall of Fame? Is that in Cleveland?
It's Cooperstown.
Oh, Cooperstown.
It's in Cooperstown.
I think it's the Golden Artist Entertainment offices in Burbank.
And because I used to be friends with Dante on Facebook, but he's since then blocked me because of my association with Earl. But if you went through his photos, he had like 1 million photos with Ron Jeremy. Like, he was with him all the time.
I know. I post them all just so people don't forget.
You get on Earl's bad side, you're in trouble.
No, I'm a complete nobody. Like, I got no power in this business, but like, I just, the last time I saw Dante was at Ralphie May's memorial, and he's literally taking pictures with everyone like we're on a red carpet. Like, I'm like, dude, like, are you out of your mind? Like, and then, by the way, Ralphie May's memorial was fantastic. 4 boxes of ashes on the Improv stage. I thought they were building That's a Skakel classic there. I love Ralphie.
They had a front loader drop off the ashes.
Dude, I'm telling you, they had 4 of the biggest boxes I've ever seen by the piano.
Oh my God.
How'd you like to be that guy who got that cremation order? 594 pounds at the time of death. He took the rest of the week off.
They'd have cut him up to fit him in the oven.
Just to give you an idea, his star client was Stuttering John, and Stuttering John pissed off Dante so much that Dante fired Stuttering John. That's how much of an asshole Stuttering John is.
Well, I mean, in his latest promo picture of their clients, it's Tracy Bingham, who literally hasn't worked since Baywatch. Bobby Brown. The biggest thing she's ever done was my podcast about 4 years ago. Like, Oh, yeah, look at that. Real happy-go-lucky there. I mean, Ron Jeremy got Me Too'd out of porn. That's impossible.
That's amazing. That's
like,
amazing.
literally, he was on every girl's do not work list. And Dante goes, that's a guy with some potential.
That's a guy with potential.
I did a comedy show with Ron Jeremy a few years ago, and I did pretty well, all things considered, because people are like, oh, Ron Jeremy, everybody said, oh, he does comedy. And my response was not well. He's to the point where Stuttering John would kill on stage compared to Ron Jeremy.
Oof.
It's that bad.
Yeah, that's a hell of a credit I opened for Ron Jeremy.
And then he was telling people he repped Cedric the Entertainer. Gee, I'm sure ICM would love that knowledge. Oh.
All right, let's switch gears to the NFL. Week 4 just ran down. Ken, what's the leaders board look like before we get into it?
Just from the top, we have 3 guys tied with 33 wins. Ryan Z, Gary Coe, and our host, Florida's greatest comedian, Chad Zumock.
Wow.
All tied at the top.
And this
All
one's
tied
this
at
is
the top.
and I got to be honest, this is the first season I haven't been paying attention either. So this is all dumb luck on my part. I'm listening to everyone's great takes, and I just choose from that.
So you're like the girl who picks based on color for her March Madness.
I'm a dumb broad. Well, let's get after it, guys. We got week 5, and we're going to kick it off this Thursday, October 6th. The Indianapolis Colts versus Brandt Tobler's Denver Broncos. Denver's getting -3.5. Let's start it off with our boy Brandt.
I will be at this game, and I went to the last 2 games. I'll tell you what, the Broncos they suck. They're just not very good. Even though they could easily be 4-0, they're just not very good. But I think I just read that Jonathan Taylor's out for the Colts. So I mean, Denver's tough. It's a tough place to win on the road. Quick turnover, even though I think this team sucks. Give me the Broncos.
All right, you heard it there from Brandt. Let's go to the commissioner, Ken Mosca. What do you got?
I'm going to piggyback on Brandt. I'm taking Denver. They're going to cover. Indianapolis is bad. Look, they're both 1-3 against the spread, but it's a homer for home game for Denver. I'm going for Denver.
Tony Mazer.
God, I saw somebody had a meme the other day that said that it's basically Russell Wilson right now is Donovan McNabb with the Redskins. Because it's not looking too good, but this is it. This is another putrid Thursday night game. I'm going to go Denver in this one. I have no analysis in this game. This is one I'm going to skip tomorrow.
And we'll close it out with Jeff Ross's best friend, Earl Skakel.
Love Jeff, man. I think he's a fucking awesome guy. Takes care of people. Like, it's a new Earl. By the way, I just got hit in the head with a rock. And I gotta be honest. I think Jeff lately has fucking looked fantastic. Like this, I've never seen a better looking man in my life.
Wow,
no master star.
You've changed.
I think Jeff is great. I'm really shocked Roast Battle didn't continue on with his guidance. And historical roast was awesome. Ooh, boy. I mean, that show took 10 years to develop and literally was ruined in a month. Shout out to those guys who thought working with the devil was a good idea. Back to football. That's going to be a 7-hour podcast if you guys wind me up about that slob. I saw him the other night at the Comedy Store. I thought, hey, what's the kid from Powder doing stand-up? Let's roast. I'm going to go with the Broncos. On another football podcast I do, I constantly talk about how many bad teams there are this year in the league. I thought the Colts would be better with Matt Ryan. I think he's probably thinking, maybe Atlanta's not so bad after all. I do think Russell Wilson will turn it around a little bit, so I'm going to go with the Broncos. Give me a balloon on the Broncos.
Let me hold on to that balloon. I'm going to go Broncos too. Make it unanimous. That brings us this Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Is this in London? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
It is in London.
Okay, so this is a hot one. The New York Giants versus the Green Gay Packers. LOL. So it's -8 with the Packers. I don't know. I'm just going to sit back. Tony, you lead this one off. I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, the Giants are 3-1. There's almost no reason they're 3-1. It's just based on luck of the draw in the schedule. I'm going Packers in this one. Even though Green Bay struggled a little bit the other day, especially against the backup quarterback in New England. But I just can't see that Green Bay, even on the road, even over across the pond, is going to do that bad. They're going to come back. I'm going Green Bay with those with that 8.5 right now.
All right, let's go. Brandt Tobler live from Denver, Colorado.
This Green Bay hasn't looked that good, but I agree with Tony. The Giants, they just have Barkley. The one good thing about Green Bay is their defense. These London games are weird. I would usually want to take the dog, but I just don't think the Giants are that good. So I guess just give me Green Bay minus the 8 or 8.5, whatever it is. Hopefully Rodgers plays a little better.
I got invited to see the Browns over in London when what year was that, Tony, when the Browns played?
2017. That was the year they didn't win a game.
Yeah. So Nick Swartzen asked me to go because they're playing the Vikings. And I go, yeah. He goes, all right, cool. And I'm like, cool. I'm going to fucking London with Nick Swartzen. And I text him, nothing. Just totally ghosted me.
Did he go?
No, he didn't go either. So I wasn't that
Yeah.
mad. But I was pumped up for a second. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers just because, but we'll go to the commissioner.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Green Bay as well. It's 8 points. Green Bay giving 8 to the Giants. Daniel Jones did practice today, but he did not go full practice with that bad ankle, bad leg, whatever it is. And I'm taking Green Bay and laying those 8.
All right, Earl Skakel.
Well, I think Swartzen ghosted you because you're about 200 pounds lighter than what he usually is.
Hey, come on, man. That's too soon.
Never too soon. I love Swarty. I think the Packers will win, but I think the Giants will. Straight up, I think the Packers win, but I like, if I'm betting, I like the Giants plus the points. I don't know if that counts as a selection, but
people listen to this stuff. They listen to this inside. They make decisions based on. I know I do. So I like to think I'm like the listener. I'm like, okay, well, what Brandt said sounded pretty good. I'll go there.
I mean, there's a lot of games like this one where, if you're just betting the outright winner, you go one way, but if you're taking the points, you go another way. Like if I'm a gambling man, I take the Giants plus the points.
We got everyone, Ken?
Yeah, if Earl's taking the Giants, we got everybody. He's definitely taking the Giants. He confused me.
No, I mean, this is a gambling podcast, correct?
Yes. So you're.
So if you're asking me from a gambler's perspective, I would take the Giants, but I think the Packers will win the game.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Sorry about that.
And I want to put this out there real quick for everyone that's watching. Brandt Tobler's a former gambler.
I still got plenty of gamble in me.
All right. Because you have those great gambling stories from back in the day.
Yeah.
All right, we got a 1:00 game. We got Earl Skakel's Pittsburgh Steelers, who stink, versus Josh Potter's Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Buffalo's giving up -14. Earl, what do you got?
I mean, obviously I want the Steelers to win, but given their quarterback situation, it's really not the quarterback's fault, either one. It's the offensive coordinator. Like he's just either not the right fit for these two quarterbacks, or the Pickens and the other receivers, Johnson. Like they got a lot of weapons, and they're doing these 5-yard dunk plays. So I go with Buffalo. It pains me to say it, but this could be a blowout of epic proportions.
Maybe that offensive coordinator should cross the street on a freeway. All right. Too soon. All right, Ken Mosca, commissioner.
Shout out to
this
Eric
is
Myers.
Yeah, this has the potential to be really ugly, and they did switch quarterbacks, as Earl said. Pickett's going to be quarterbacking, and this could be really ugly. So that's a lot of points. It opened at 13. It's already at 14. I'm taking Buffalo and giving the 14.
I'm going to piggyback off of that. Tony Mazer, close it out.
Yeah, I was actually at that game the other day in Pittsburgh and saw the beginning of the Kenny Pickett era. And that, we talked about it last week, how Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they do not like a lot of change. And the fans were all chanting Kenny because obviously it's the hometown kid. And yeah, he rushed for 2 touchdowns. He also threw 3 picks. So I don't know if this is just going to be another form of hometown bias and everything for them, but I think the Bills win the game. I'm a little scared about that 14 points. So I'll pick the Steelers, but I think Buffalo will win.
We got it all, Ken?
Got it all.
All right, another 1 o'clock game. We got Gino Bisconte's Los Angeles Chargers versus Tony Mazur's Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Chargers are giving up -2.5. Tony, lead the way.
So I think the Browns are still going to be without Myles Garrett. I think that Tua injury last week is scaring a lot of teams from rushing a lot of their guys back. And someone like Myles Garrett, who had the accident about 9 days ago.
So what's the final thing on that word? Would he really swerve out of the way of an animal and flip the Porsche 911?
He was going 60 and at 45 and it was wet outside. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. All I know is that he's pretty banged up, it looked like, but he wanted to come back. And I think that Tua injury is getting a lot of people going like, yeah, you can't get these. If he's in an accident, you can't rush him back 5 days later to be playing. So I think they're going to be without Myles Garrett. I think they're still without Jadeveon Clowney. Even though the Chargers and Justin Herbert haven't had the greatest year so far, I think we saw the best of the Browns and Jacoby Brissett. Again, I know we talked about it last week, but I'm going Chargers on the road here. Even though they don't traditionally play that well in Cleveland, I can't see them losing. I can't see the Browns winning this game against a team that might start clicking. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's 2-2 versus 2-2. I'm going to go with Tony on this one too. I sat and watched that whole game last week, and they just fucking blew it, and I'm not sold on them, especially with Myles Garrett out of the lineup. We'll go to Earl Skakel, everybody.
By the way, this is breaking news. The Miami Dolphins medical staff has just cleared JFK to come back in the game. The Chargers are a weird team. They get blown out by Jacksonville, then they come back, play a good game. I like the Browns at home. Even without Garrett, I still think, game this close, I'll always slide towards the home team.
Commissioner.
Yeah, me too. Cleveland at home, they're not terrible. I don't think the loss of Garrett was really going to, hurt them all that much. And I'm not sold on the Chargers. So it's only 2.5. It's like Earl said, Cleveland's at home. I'm taking the Browns.
Brandt Tobler.
I hate to do this because I hate all of Ohio football, mainly Ohio State. But
me too.
The Browns, I just think they'll be able to run the ball. And Herbert's banged up. They say he's okay, but one hit, he could be out. And I don't know who their backup is. So, and I know Keenan Allen's questionable. And I think the Browns just pounded on the ground, and they got to be feeling shitty from last week's collapse. So give me the home dog of the Browns.
By the time Deshaun Watson go ahead,
Chad.
By the time Deshaun Watson gets back, Nick Chubb's going to be paralyzed. He's going to be
John Hadel's the backup for the Chargers, right, Tony?
Oh, I thought it was going to be I thought it was Bobby Hebert because we had Herbert and Hebert.
Oh man, I was going real old school on you, brother.
Ken, can you switch me to the Browns? Because Earl,
I love it.
You and Brent switched me.
Chad.
I'm a girl. I like orange. All right, 1 o'clock game. We got the Chicago Bears versus Nick Swartzen's Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Minnesota's 3-1. Bears are 2-2. The Vikings are giving up -7 at home. Tony Mazur.
Yeah, the Bears once again, a mediocre team, probably subpar team. Minnesota's, mediocre is Kirk Cousins, but Minnesota seems to play very well. I'm going to go with Nick Swartzen and his team. I know it's 7 points, but I just don't see the Bears really doing anything this year. I know Earl was talking about it, the amount of mediocre to subpar teams this year, and the Bears are just one of them. So I'm going to go Minnesota in this one, even if I don't think they've been playing all that well.
Brandt Tobler.
Well, I'll never forgive Swartzen for what he did to you and not taking you to London.
Fuck him. I was so excited.
So, for that alone, I'm picking against the Vikings today and forever. So give me the Bears and give me whoever else they play the rest of the year, because how dare he not take you to London, that motherfucker.
I was so
I'm sure Sandler took him to London.
Yeah,
Like,
I literally had the bags packed. The bags were packed, ready to rock. I was so pumped. Commissioner.
You should have put on a fat suit, bro.
Growing a beard.
I don't think I'm speaking out of tail there. Like, we all have our type. I like big tits. Swartzen likes big everything.
I'm taking the Vikings. Yeah, I'm taking the Bears are just bad. Minnesota.
Well, since this is a betting, and since I want the Vikings to go 0 and forever because of what he did, I'm going to go with the Vikings. I just because it's a betting thing, and I want to win this fucking pool, and we'll see what happens. It's only week 4, but we'll close it out with Earl Skakel in West Hollywood.
I'm sorry, I was just texting a girl I met at the Comedy Store last night. What's the point spread?
7. Minnesota giving it 7.
Okay, yeah, I like the Vikings. The Bears are they're one of about 6 or 7 teams that are they're just not there yet. They're going to be bad for a bit more. So I don't see how Chicago can win this game under any circumstance.
Hey, Earl, are you on the next Supernova show?
No, I'm not a pedophile or a rapist. So and I'm not a girl Saratella's trying to fuck. So, boy, those second half of those lineups lately, oof. Like, they started out good.
I've been in LA. I say I've been in LA for a while, but some things never change, I see.
You've been on that show, right, Brandt?
No, he never tried to fuck me.
Well, you're funny too, so that definitely works against you. I mean, some of those Supernova lineups lately, they're like, oh boy, man! I've seen Amber Alerts that had more star power.
Let's give him a quick plug here, Earl. This is the lineup.
Oh.
I didn't see you on there, but they got Sarah Silverman. Speaking of Kevin Brennan.
I mean, obviously those two are funny. Abby and Alex are actually really funny, but Noelle, that's my friend. I'm saying this about a friend. She has 1 million followers on Instagram and triple D tits. Of course, Jeff Ross brought her up to the Comedy Store, so I'll let you guys on your own figure out how good she is as a comic. I don't know who Anya is, so I'm assuming that's the girl Saratella's trying to pour. Ari Manis is funny, dude, and Joe Urell, like, I love him. He's pretty funny, but
Look at Natasha.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's great. I mean,
yeah, I mean, she is, but I mean, does she get another size put in? I don't remember her being that big.
That probably was around when she was pregnant.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that will do it.
All right. Well,
crap.
I just like to try to get Earl going. That's my favorite thing in the world.
No, I mean, I think Supernova is a great show. I mean, they're innovators in outdoor patio shows.
I think Brandt Tobler is the innovator because he used to do a backyard show, right, with Brody Stevens.
I did. I don't get any credit for it, but I was the first backyard show. I don't know if I was the first, but I was doing them way back in Vegas when nobody would fuck with us, and had Stanhope, and I could. That was because Stanhope agreed to do it, and then everybody else wanted to do it. But yeah, I did it way back when, and now I can't get on these patio shows. It's like I feel like Pete Rose. They fucking banished me from the game that I was one of the best at.
He was the patio king.
Man. It's a tough business out
here.
It
really is, man. It is.
In Vegas, I only get my info on the Vegas comedy scene through Ty Rivera and Nobody Likes Onions. So like I literally watch those. Like I watch CNN and Fox, like because they hate each other. Those two.
It's amazing.
So I listen to both and figure out what's the truth.
I worked with Patrick Melton in Oklahoma. He was actually a nice guy. I got along with him. So
I mean, it's tough for me because I get along with both, but like they don't like. You think me and Jeff don't like each other? Like Patrick and Ty, like it's hatred, like legit hatred. So like I'm in the middle of it, so it's tough.
Anyways, let's get back to football. Where are we at, Ken? Who's up? I don't even know what's going on.
So we're at the Detroit Lions at New England. New England giving up 3.
Did you get all the picks from the Browns? Okay.
Yeah, we got everybody. Yeah. Yep.
And so far, who went? You, Tony?
No, no one went for. We're moving on to Detroit at New England. New England giving up 3.
So we're transitioning from Supernova to Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings.
No, we did that.
Well, you already did that.
All right. Sorry, I'm out.
That's right. Cut that part out.
Cut that part out, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll try again. Detroit at New England. New England giving up 3.
I'm going to lead the charge here. Dave Landau's Lions versus the Bill Belichick without Tom Brady looks just like an ordinary coach, just like he did in Cleveland. So it just goes to show you Tom Brady was pretty special in New England. And I don't have much faith, even though it's at home. It's -3. I'm going to go with the Lions. They're 1-3 versus 1-3. I mean, that's my analysis, and I'll kick it over to the commissioner.
Lions are 3-1 against the spread, and they're playing hard. They're playing hard for Dan Campbell, and it's only 3. In years past, that would have been a lot more. I'm taking Detroit. I'm with our friend Dave Landau.
All right, there we go. We got Brandt Tobler up next.
I love Dave Landau, but the Lions have sucked my whole life, and it feels like the Patriots have been good forever. And I can't remember the last time Patriots were only a 3-point favorite at home. So I trust Belichick to figure shit out and slow the game down, and the Lions will be the Lions. So give me the Patriots.
Tony, how does this Mac Jones look to you? Are you sold?
Well, he's hurt.
Yeah.
So he's hurt, and then they put Brian Hoyer in, our buddy from Cleveland, then he got hurt. So now they have
Hoyer jersey,
another backup. And I mean, as much as they did pretty well the other day against Green Bay, the Lions, I saw this stat the other day. The Lions have the most points like per game throughout the season. They've also given up the most points, but I'm not that sold on New England's defense right now. So I'm going to go with the Lions on the road. I'm going to say Jared Goff surprises some people and just keeps it going, and picking the Lions on the road. I'm going to say they win the game too.
Earl, close it out.
I'm still texting that girl. How's Eric Hippel's health? Is he playing this game? That's old school reference for you Lions freaks. I'm going to go
Greg Landry. Greg Landry is starting this game for the Lions, Earl.
Is Herman Moore playing? That guy won me some fantasy titles back in the day.
Alex Karras.
It's so weird to pick the Lions over Belichick. Like, it just doesn't seem right in the world. It's like an 80s metal band having a hit in 2022. It's just like, what? So I'm going to go with the Lions. Their offense is almost rivaling the Rams' greatest show on turf. And I'm happy for Goff because everyone was like saying how shitty he was, and he got a raw deal with the Rams, I thought, and how they traded him.
Raw deal like Schwarzenegger.
I mean, yeah, great movie, Raw Deal. One of Schwarzenegger's hidden gems. That I saw a double feature, Cobra and Raw Deal.
That sounds like a wet dream for Earl.
Oh, dude, I was hard as a rock when when Ed Lauder, the original Captain Knauer in The Longest Yard, he stops Schwarzenegger in the alley and goes, "What's your name?" And Schwarzenegger goes, "Joseph P. Brenna." And Edward Lauder goes, "What's the P stand for?" And with the greatest comedy timing you've ever seen, with the perfect P, he just looked at him and goes, "Pussy." So I like the Lions, and I would definitely take the over here. Like, I know we don't delve into that part too much, but that Lions offense is averaging like 35 a game.
Well, that's good analysis right there.
Yeah.
Tony, did you bring up Alex Karras from Webster?
I did.
Yeah.
Did he
Blazing
play?
Saddles, Mongo.
Who did he play for?
It was
The Lions.
Lions.
And he was also the sheriff in Porky's. Come on, man.
I didn't know that.
Mr.
Yeah.
Papadopoulos.
All right.
Shout out to John Matuzak, Goonies, Sloth, while we're at it.
Hey, you guys.
All right, 1 o'clock game. We got Craig Gass' Seattle Seahawks versus the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. I had a friend when the hurricane was going down. He lives in New Orleans. He's like, bro, you got to get the fuck out of Tampa and come up to New Orleans. I'm like, yeah, let me go to where another tragedy was. That sounds great. They're giving up -5. Ken, what do you got?
I'm taking Seattle. New Orleans is a mess. Jameis Winston is a mess. I think he's hurt as well. I don't know if he's going to play, but I'm taking Seattle on the road. All hail Geno Smith, leading the league in percentage passes.
There it is. We'll go to Brandt Tobler, and before we get to that, Brandt, will Seattle ever get the Seahawks back or the Sonics back?
They're back. I think they've already announced it.
They did?
They get a team, and Vegas gets a team. I think it's 2025, maybe 24 or 25.
It was 24 or 25. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
absolutely.
coming back.
Yeah.
How come I didn't hear that?
Yeah, they're back. Give me. This is another just shit game. Earl's. There's just so many bad teams. I guess just 2 bad teams. Give me the dog. Give me Seattle.
We're going to keep going around the horn. And by the way, ESPN, if you want to pick up this program, I mean, we are ready to go. I mean, we're perfect for ESPN. So, Tony.
Yeah. Just 5 white guys talking football.
I'm going to go Seattle on the road. At this point, they're probably going to replace Jameis at some point. And my God, this is a terrible football game. Luckily, I do not have it in my area, and I'm very grateful for that. So Seattle on the road.
All right, we're going to go to Mr. Diversity, Earl Skakel.
I mean, this game is going to have the TV ratings of Roast Battle Season 3. Like, ooh, what?
Is that the one where Blake? Is that the one where Blake Griffin beat Jeff Ross?
Oh, yeah, and they gave it a tie. Okay, it's like giving the Japanese a tie. They dropped 2 bombs on them. This game is so bad. I'm surprised it doesn't have the words "Jeff Ross presents" in front of it. I mean, the Saints, they're fully loaded, are a rough team, but a lot of injuries. Michael Thomas, Winston hobbling around. So I'll go with Seattle. It pains me to say I think Geno Smith's going to pull out a game, but the guy's not playing that bad.
He's not. I know.
To be honest, he's probably my surprise. I don't know if they do a comeback player of the year in the NFL like they do in basketball. I guess they do it. But he's like, who knows? Maybe he's found his legs 12 years later.
All hail him. Let's do that. I'm going Seahawks too to close it out. We got another 1 o'clock game. We got Jim Florentine's Miami Dolphins versus Don Jameson's former team, the New York Jets in New York. Dolphins are getting up -3.5 without Tua in the game, Commissioner.
Yeah, Tua is out, and as you see, the doctor who found what CTE is said to publicly that Tua should retire, that he's undersized, and he should not be playing quarterback. He should retire from the game immediately. I don't know if you guys saw that. No. I can't think of the doctor's name. Will Smith played him in the movie. But, he came out yesterday and said that Tua should retire immediately. Pretty interesting. But look, Dolphins are 3-1, 3-1 against the spread. Jets 2-2, 2-2 against the spread. But Dolphins get up 3.5. I don't know. I'm buying into the Jets right now. I think the Dolphins are reeling a little bit with this Tua thing. I think it's been a distraction. So I'm taking the Jets.
Maybe that's why Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. He had PTSD. I don't know. That was a bad
CTE.
joke.
You mean CTE?
CTE. Fuck. God damn it. I'm off. I'm not seeing the ball, Tony.
Wait, were you the guy that cleared Tua to play? What the fuck?
Ken, who's the quarterback for Miami? Is it Scott Mitchell this time?
Yeah, it could be Mitchell. Greasy is on the IL, so it's not Greasy. And Earl Morrell is dead, so he's not available.
I think it's David Woodley.
There you go. There's Earl coming in. There's Earl coming in around the side with a David Woodley. All right.
They should put in Dan Marino like they did Burt Reynolds in the remake of The Longest Yard.
Oh yeah, that was
God.
that first longest yard is such a flawless football movie. Like
Yeah,
that remake. I love Sandler, but oof.
I know. He killed it. Oof.
All right, Brandt, what do you got?
Well, we didn't get Earl's. Was Earl piping in there?
Oh, I didn't know if I was going last or I don't want to cut in front of anyone. Like,
All right, Brandt, go ahead, Brandt.
Just give me the Jets. I don't know who the quarterback is for Miami. Just give me the Jets.
Earl?
yeah, I mean the Jets are probably bayoued by their Steeler victory. The Dolphins are just such a cloud over them right now, and who knows who their quarterback is? I'm sure Tyreek Hill is like, oh boy, this is
Terry Bridgewater. Bridgewater.
Well, okay, he's not horrible.
Yeah.
The Jets are one of those teams that, I think with Wilson, they're a little, they're rallying behind him because I think they like him in the locker room. So, without Tua, who was playing very well beforehand, I think there's too many question marks. Jets.
No disrespect to the Florentine family. I want the Dolphins to win, but I'm going to go with the Jets on this one just because like the dark cloud that's hanging. And we'll close it out with Tony Mazer.
I'm just going to be different, say the Dolphins. I have no analysis in this game. Just go with the Dolphins. Just be different.
Just go with it. All right, we got another 1:00 game. We got the Atlanta Falcons coming off a big victory, coming down here to Tampa Bay, 3.5 miles away at Raymond James Stadium, where they lost. And Tom Brady, the quarterback's going through a divorce, I guess. They both hired divorce attorneys. Looks like it's going to happen. And apparently Gislaine's going to date Pete Mitchell, according to Twitter. Tampa Bay's given up -8.5. Commissioner.
I think you meant Pete Davidson.
What did I say?
You said Pete Mitchell.
I
That's
did.
the guy from Top Gun, you idiot.
Lieutenant Pete Mitchell. No, that's what I meant. Lieutenant Pete Mitchell, Maverick.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
it's also a guy who ran for.
Yeah.
Ran for what?
It's also a guy who ran for governor here in New Jersey.
That's what I meant. The guy who ran for governor in New Jersey.
You're the best. All right, you called on me? Yeah, the Brady pending divorce. Atlanta's 2-2, like you said, big win. They're 4-0 against the spread. I'm taking Atlanta. Tampa Bay will probably win, but I'm taking Atlanta. I'm taking Atlanta. That's a lot. I'll take the points.
Going with the momentum. Brandt Tobler.
You know what? Tampa looked shitty last week, but I think they'll get it together. And I'm sure Tom is. They say she broke up with him because he went back to playing. So he's probably got to. You better fucking win if you're going to lose your supermodel wife. So I think he'll get it together this week. Give me the Bucks.
He literally tried to he goes, you know what? I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad. I'm going to be a husband. And he's like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
This stinks. I got to be with the guys. So yeah, I'm going with Brandt on that one. I'm going to go with the Hawks. They got momentum. They're coming in. And or did you go with the Bucks?
The Bucks.
That's what I meant. I'm going to go with the Bucks. Let's see if they bounce back. He's focused. He's in the pocket. He doesn't have that nag yapping in his ear. Tony.
I'm going. I think Tampa will win. I think I'm going to go Atlanta just because of that 9-point spread.
8.5.
It's 8.5. I'll still go with that. I'll still say they win by a touchdown. I'm wondering if what this does with Brady is he come back and he throw for 500 yards, or is this a little bit too distracting? Obviously, we know Tom Brady plays very well under pressure, but my God, this is all over the headlines and everything this week. So, I mean, hey, maybe it's one game where he rushes for 100 yards, just surprises everybody. So I'm picking the Falcons, but I think Tampa will win.
He's 45 years old, right?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Good for him. Earl Skakel.
Yeah, but he's probably happy to get rid of that broad. Let's face it.
My brother said the same thing.
It's just the way the world works. She gonna start getting a little chubby and wrinkles, and like Tom Brady looks amazing for his age, and he's gonna get girls who have daddy issues, uncle issues.
Oh, that's Tampa. We have all that here.
Like he wins in the game of the divorce. I'll assume he has an airtight prenup. So like You'll have to give her some cash.
She technically makes more money than him.
She's worth 400 million.
Yeah, she's not hurting for money either, but like, she got, just, it sucks. In the aging game, guys win. Like, guys as they get older can look better. Girls, you hit a shelf life. Just ask Ross about that. And, I mean, that guy does more grooming than supercuts. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
I think him and Gronk should get a bachelor pad down here. They'll just clean up shop. All right. Well,
you know how much pussy that guy, you know how much pussy he's going to get? Like, it's uncalculable. Like, she'll get some dick too. Like, she'll be fine in that regard. But like, dude, any room he walks into, he can fuck any girl in the room. Hi, I'm Tom Brady. Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Yeah, that's his pickup line. I'm Tom Brady.
That's my pickup line when I'm at an open mic. Hi, I'm Tom Brady.
Do we get everybody, Ken?
We got everybody.
What's the next game?
Tennessee Tuxedos at the Washington Redskins.
Thank you for saying Redskins.
Tennessee giving up 2.5.
I'm going to go first. Commanders are trash. Tennessee, shout out Mike Vrabel, played basketball against them. I'm just name dropping at this point. I'm going to go with Tennessee, even though it's minus 2.5 in Redskin country. Who do you got, Commissioner?
I'm taking the Titans. I saw enough of Wentz and the Redskins last week against Dallas. Dallas gave the blueprint. The one good receiver he has, double up on him on the receiver and just blitz from all over the place on Wentz. So yeah, I'm taking the Titans.
Who do you got, Brandt?
It's another just trash game, really. But I don't know. I mean, it's a game I hope I don't have to watch any part of on the Red Zone because I think they both suck. But I guess just give me the home. Give me Washington.
Tony Mazer.
It's the Albert Hainsworth Bowl. I was trying to think of guys who played on both teams. I'm going Tennessee. This is another example of two mediocre washed up quarterbacks who are starting for their teams in Tannehill and Wentz. And I'm going to give the edge to the Titans, even though they really haven't played all that well this year. And I'd say they finished 3-2 after this game. So I'm going Tennessee.
Earl Skakel, straight out of West Hollywood.
I'm going to go Tennessee. I really thought the Redskins defense would carry them through the offensive woes they have, but just not clicking on either side of the ball. So I think, Mosca, the general, is right. The Cowboys provided the blueprint to beat the Redskins. I won't call them the Commanders.
Thank you.
You should see what I call them off the air. Especially when I'm playing Madden. Catch the ball, you've got. So yeah, I mean, I think Henry's. This could be a big game for him.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get everybody?
Yes, we did.
All right, we got a couple games left, and we'll just keep rolling here. We got another 1:00 game. We got the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talk about another shit game. -7 in Jacksonville. Have you been reading all that shit on Urban Meyer?
Yes.
What a fucking cocksucker that dude
I know.
was.
Well, you know what though? When he was in college, he was run up and around with all around with the co-eds. That was his MO. Remember, he was head coach of Notre Dame for 5.5 hours, and walked and left because he said Notre Dame will not let him. Notre Dame will not.
Ohio State.
No. Notre Dame. He was the Notre Dame coach for 5.5 hours. He quit. They parted ways when Urban Meyer said Notre Dame would not relax their grades or whatever to get into Notre Dame, their standards. Truth be told, Notre Dame, did a little more investigating, and some things came in that made them uncomfortable. Nice Catholic university that they are, and they said, "Yeah, you can't be here. You can't be here." And by the way, they paid him no money. Okay, there's no money exchanged for him to go bye-bye. But yeah, he's a piece of garbage. And Khan, the word was that, when he set you up with that one. When he did not fly back with the team and he was with that young lady in the bar, I remember that photo that went around. When he did get back to Jacksonville and he went to see the owner wanted to see him, evidently he got blown up and he was told, you better win and win now, which he didn't do. What was it a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, gone. Yeah, he's a piece of garbage, always has been a piece of garbage, but there'll be a desperate college that hires him. You watch.
And Brandt, just for the record, I am from Ohio. I hate Ohio State and I hate LeBron. Just letting you know.
So that's why I love you.
That's why we get along. So who are you going to go with in this one, Ken?
I'm taking Jacksonville. In a real brief period of time, Doug Peterson has really changed the culture in Jacksonville. And Houston's terrible. It's 7 points, but they're home. I'm taking the Jags.
What do we got, Brandt?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody thinks the Jags are like the bandwagon. Everybody's on this bandwagon, but they do look pretty good. The defense is good. I mean, there's just so many. The league sucks. I don't really know who's good. So I don't know if Jacksonville's really good or if everybody else just sucks, but I'm going to follow the commission's lead. Give me Jacksonville at home.
Tony Mazer from the Check Your Brain podcast, which you can get on Patreon. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
First I want to say about Urban Meyer, because I couldn't stand him either. And every time they started sniffing the NCAA is like, hey, what's going on? There's some compliance issues we've been hearing about. Oh, wow, my heart hurts. I got to retire. And then he leaves, takes a broadcasting job, then goes to Ohio State, does the same thing. And then what does Fox do? Fox Sports, they hire him after Ohio State. Then he takes the job at Jacksonville. Then he takes a couple of months off. And what do? They bring him back. And apparently at Michigan, they couldn't say shit about, they couldn't have signs for the game day, whatever they have for the Fox big noon kickoff. They couldn't have any anti-Urban Meyer signs when he would broadcast there. It's like, dude, it's his own fucking fault. He's a piece of garbage. But you know who isn't? Doug Peterson, a good coach that Philly helped run out of town. I'm going Jacksonville in this one. I think they go 3-2, and the Texans are just hot garbage.
Hey, I just want to go on a limb. I hope Urban Meyer gets COVID. Suck it. Earl, what do you got?
Hey, you're a COVID survivor.
I'm a big fan of the Khan brothers, especially Tony, who has restored my faith in pro wrestling, owning AEW. And giving this man a lease on life at 63 years old, still doing quality matches.
Sting.
That's exactly what he looks like, too. And by the way, I bought this full-size Kamala doll, and I chopped the legs off just to keep it real.
Too soon.
And this is the Earl Skakel wrestling doll, a model 1 of 1. There are no... they're not available anywhere in stores. Just
if somebody were to contact you to buy that, would you sell it?
No, man. It was they gave it to all the roasters on the Ric Flair roast. I would not sell that.
All right.
But if you want to make an offer out there, my PayPal's Skakel at AOL. I like Jacksonville. I think Trevor Lawrence is the next star quarterback. Once he gets a better, some tools around him, I think he's going to really shoot up to the next level. And this is, a lot of bad games. I mean, Brandt's right. There are just a lot of bad teams in this league.
All right, let's keep the bad games flowing. We got another 4:05 game. We got Dan Soder, San Francisco 49ers versus the Carolina Panthers. Tony, why is Baker Mayfield not playing well, and why were we wrong?
I don't know if we were wrong. He's got a bad team around him. He doesn't even look healthy, and they're already ready to run him out of town. Which hey, look, they're 1-3. They stink. And the Niners, by the way, really shocked me. Against the Rams. I thought the Rams were starting to click, and they were starting to get their shit together. Garoppolo. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I mean,
Garofalo?
Yes, exactly. They how many times have they tried to run him out of San Francisco, and he just keeps on coming back? So, San Francisco on the road. Is this one of those where they're practicing in Youngstown like they have with the DeBartolos? That do you know about this, Ken?
Yeah, I do. That was when Eddie DeBartolo was the managing partner of the team. He's from Ohio, right?
Yep.
And he'd bring, when they were on the East Coast, he'd bring them to
Youngstown
Cleveland.
State, yeah.
Youngstown State, and practice there.
So I don't know if they're still doing that, and then they head on down to Charlotte. But you said Niners 6.5, right?
Yeah,
6.5. Yeah.
Yep. I think they'll beat them by 2 touchdowns. The Carolina stinks. This is another retooling year, and I think Matt Rule is going to be out the door. Another failed college coach that they wanted to try to get creative, get cute, and try and bring him into the pros. And God damn, it's not looking good there.
just go ahead and rack Tony on that one. Commissioner, what do you got?
I'm taking San Francisco 6.5. Yeah, I'm taking them. Saw them last week. They surprised me, like Tony said. I'm taking them.
Brandt Tobler.
Yeah, I agree. I think they might be the best team in the NFC. They're tough. I watched them come here and lose that game to Denver. They had no business losing that game. And I was walking out of the stadium with some Niner fans, and I told them, I was like, this loss isn't going to make sense in like 4 or 5 weeks when you guys are really good. And Debo's they could do so many different things with Debo, and they really haven't even used Kittle yet. And I think Shanahan, it's a shame because Shanahan should be our coach here in Denver. I don't know how that didn't happen. So it hurts to watch him do so good when we have a coach that doesn't know how to fucking call timeout or anything here. So I think the Niners looked really good. I think they're going to be just getting better every week.
All right, Earl Skakel.
I'm going to go with the 49ers. I mean, I'm sure privately the Niners were pretty happy when Lance broke his ankle. And, Garoppolo, he's such a good-looking guy. He doesn't get credit for being a good quarterback. Like, if he was ugly, people would talk about how great he is. But just because the guy gets a lot of pussy, like, you got to hold it against him. I'll go with the Niners.
Ken, close me out with the Niners because we're going to lead right into another 425 game. But before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in Las Vegas, you're going to want to see Brandt Tobler. He's all over the place. He's at the LA Comedy Club on the 10th. Is this up to speed?
Yeah, I'll be in Vegas all next week, the 10th through the 17th.
And then you're at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. Does Cindy still book that?
Yep.
All right. She still hasn't got me in. She got me in Zany's.
She said she's never going to have you, but she hopes you're doing great.
Oh, well, that's
Welcome to Hollywood, kid.
no. She got me in Zany's when she was in Chicago. She's great. Anyways,
I can't even feature for Kool-Aid at the Dirty at 12:30.
That's a great Vegas joke right there.
That is a deep. I love Kool-Aid. I just met him for the first time, and
yeah, he's a good dude.
That sounds like an alias.
Talk about he might be a 4 boxer one day.
I mean, it's it like not referencing him, but like when Ralphie died of a heart attack, like people were surprised. It's like, dude, the guy was literally 300-400 pounds overweight. Like I'm not trying to turn this into a Jack LaLanne show, but like you're 20 pounds overweight. That's a lot of work on your heart, So it's just like, a vegetable here and there ain't going to kill you.
Earl, water
unless he's choking on it, Earl.
But I mean, like, it's just like, I'm probably 5 pounds overweight, not necessarily fat, but like, that's a lot of work. Every step you take is double the effort. 500 pounds, 600 pounds. It's like, ooh.
Earl.
I sure hope Lana was on top.
Earl, you're going to have to let him go. Got to let him go.
Ralphie go? That's impossible.
I was doing my Tom Skerritt.
I once was on a teeter-totter with Ralphie. I flew off the fucking machine.
All right, we got a couple games left. Let's get through this. We got 425 game. We got Ken Mosca's Dallas Cowboys versus Kate Quigley's Los Angeles Rams. Go Rams in Los Angeles minus 5.5. Ken, you have the honors.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. Opens at 4. It's at 5.5. Cowboys are 3-1 and 3-1 against the spread, and the Rams are 1-3 against the spread. I I don't know. Did the 49ers show us the blueprint on how to beat the Rams? Doubling Cooper Kupp and sending everybody. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to take the Cowboys. They'll cover. Rams may win, probably win, but the Cowboys will cover. So I'm taking Dallas.
Oh, hometown kid, Tony Mazer. Are you with Jim Florentine this weekend, or?
I'm going to be, probably on one of the shows. I'm not doing the full weekend though.
Or at the Funny Stop. Who do you got?
He's with Joe Howard, by the way. Butt plug Joe Howard. I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. I know the Rams haven't been good against the spread, and Cowboys are 3-1. But Ken, am I wrong to think that this is just it's setting up for a little bit of unrealistic expectations for the Cowboys? You're like, oh, they're 3-1. It's the first time they've been 3-1. This. I just don't see this team, especially no Dak Prescott, but I just don't see them being a team that, 5-6 weeks from now, we're going to talk about this momentum build that they have.
Tony, they have a Super Bowl defense. They have they have a top 2 defense right now. I think that's great. That's what's carrying them.
But can it be carried if they're a team that's going to be on the field too long?
Well, no, they can't. You're right. Cooper Rush has not turned the ball over in 3 games. However, he had 2 interceptions last week, called back for penalty. So I hear what you're saying. But I watched that 49er game last week, doubling Kupp and sending everybody at, listen, Matthew Stafford doesn't scare me. He really doesn't. But I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But look, wouldn't surprise me if the Rams win, but I think Dallas can cover. Now, can they block what's his name? Aaron Donald? I don't know. I don't know if they can block him.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go first here, or go third. I'm going to go with the Rams because 4 days after Kate Quigley got out of the hospital, she was tweeting. She's like, I'm not going to let anything get me down. Go Rams. So I want the Rams to win for Kate Quigley. Go Rams. Rams.
She'll be at our home comedy club, The Funny Stop, in November. I don't think I'm on those shows anymore after doing these podcasts.
Yeah. you know not what to bring her, and I'll just leave it at that. Brandt Tobler.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with the commission's Cowboys. I think there's a little Super Bowl hangover with the Rams. I think if you double Kupp, I think you might be right. They might have kind of shown the game plan because none of the other weapons have really stepped up for the Rams. I thought Allen Robinson coming from the Bears would make a difference. He really hasn't done anything. If Cooper Rush cannot turn over the ball and Diggs can kind of lock up Kupp, I think, and it's always like a home game. It'll be a home game for the Cowboys, even though it's in LA. I'm sure the Cowboy fans will take over that stadium. So give me the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, Earl.
I might go to this game. So,
it's all right. It's at home.
Yeah, I'm not going to take my car because I drive a bright red car, and that SoFi Stadium's a crip neighborhood. I'm serious. I mean, you really have to in LA. You have to watch out for these things. So I like the Rams. I'm a little suspect on Stafford's arm. I still think it's injured, and so he's not quite 100%, and we'll probably never know when he is. Football injury reports are worse than hockey. Like in hockey, a guy will break his leg, and they'll say it's an upper body injury. So, I just think, although the blueprint was laid, obviously you double Kupp and you make Stafford's job a lot harder. I think the Rams defense will come through in this one. I mean, Donald's he's just amazing to watch him get double and triple teamed, and he still gets there most of the time. So I think the Rams defense will come through on this one.
We got them all in, Ken?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's knock these last games out. We got Kevin Brennan's Philadelphia Eagles versus the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Philly's giving up -5. We'll start it out with the commish. Go ahead.
Nothing would make me happier than not only the Cardinals covering, but kicking the crap out of the Eagles, because how much would upset Kevin Brennan? I mean, that would make me very happy. So for that alone, I'm just going to, I'm taking Arizona. I'm going to take those 5 points, and Arizona will win outright.
Tony, who do you got?
I like the spite pick. Those are some of my favorite picks.
Yeah, and Ken's like he's logical, and then he was like, let's get spiteful. I like that.
I'm going to go Philly because Jalen Hurts, I think they said he has the longest completion average of the season. It's about like 10 yards per or at least passing attempt, I believe. I mean, they're clicking, and the Cardinals are just kind of again another mediocre team. So I think Philly's going to go on the road and do pretty well here. So get to 5-0. So I'm going Philly with that 5.5.
Hey, Brandt, we'll go with you next. But are you friends with Brent Ernst?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's living out there now in Henderson, right?
Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, I love Cobra Kai. It was cool to see him. I've always loved Karate Kid, and then Cobra Kai. Even though there was points that got a little corny, I just always loved Johnny, and to see him on there, I thought he did good. What, you hate it?
No, I love it. I grew up on the Karate Kid. I mean, it was on.
I always liked the Karate Kid. So, I mean, they do a few questionable things, but I try not to overanalyze it. I try to just enjoy it. So it's always cool to see Brett on there. And
he's a LaRusso, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's made me hate Daniel. I just really like Johnny way more. But yeah, so I'll see Brett next week. I think he's doing good, man. He's always been really good to me. He's you'll listen to him a lot. I don't get a lot of words in when I'm with Brett. He
likes the whole court. He likes the whole court.
He holds court like he is Daniel LaRusso. But no, I'll see him next week, and it seems like he's doing good. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we're gonna go to you with the game and your pick.
Oh yeah, I'll take Philly. I mean, this Philly team, Arizona looks bad, and I mean Philly just looks good. And I've heard these analysts say Philly. I mean, there's talk that Philly might go undefeated, they have a really easy schedule, and I just don't think this Arizona team is very good. So, and these Philly fans have always been good fans, but now that they're playing so good, I bet they'll go take over Arizona kind of, because I don't think Arizona's just not a good sports city as far as they get behind the Suns a little bit. I remember going to hockey game. No one would go to hockey games there. No one goes to baseball, and I don't even think they really like the Cardinals unless they're good. So I could see Philly fans, anybody west of Mississippi that's a Philly fan, going out there and being obnoxious. And unfortunately, I just think Philly's good, man. They look like they're really good.
Now, Earl, you're a big Terry Silver fan. Do you like how they made him into a bad guy from a James Bond movie in the last season?
Yeah, I love Thomas Ian Griffith. And the guy, it's really weird. He basically quit acting for a long time. And then I think he dipped his toes back in. He directed some episodes of Grimm. And then, so he carried Karate Kid 3. I mean, that movie's pretty bad, but I mean, at one point, it's hard to take Ralph Macchio. And by the way, the girl in the Karate Kid 3 was only 16 at the time, so
they couldn't make her the love interest. They couldn't make her the love interest because she was 16.
Well, I also think she worked that club in Boston, that comedy club. So she went right to there after filming, and no one knew anything. So
fucking Earl.
It's unbelievable. And my spots go down, and I'm the only one who's fucking legal aged women. I like Philly. They're a very good team, and Arizona. I agree with Brandt. I've been to a few Coyotes games, and a shout out to my friend Bokanji Imama, one of the few black players in the league. He plays in Arizona. He does. I bet he does. They're playing at Arizona State University this year. They're not even in an NHL arena this year. That's embarrassing. So, and they're not even going to be able to fill that, which is like a 3,000 seater. So Arizona might be the worst sports town. I mean, Diamondbacks don't draw. Brandt's right. Only the Cardinals do well when they're winning, but they rarely win. They just don't have a lot of weapons. I mean, when James Conner's your guy, you're in trouble. Great story, but what are we going to do? Make the starting wide receiver of Parkinson's to get a good story going? So I like the Eagles.
Close me out with the Eagles, just so I could get just an advantage on Ken's spite pick. See if I can get something going there. Let's close it out with these last two games. We got Josh Snead's Cincinnati Bengals versus Ryan Sickler's Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, -3 in Baltimore. Brandt, who do you got?
Oh, man. Well, you know what? In my stupid fantasy league, I had picked Lamar Jackson, and he has been fucking incredible. So I'll be rooting for him no matter what. But I mean, Baltimore's good. I really think they should have won that last game, but I kind of like how Harbaugh just trusts them and trusts the players, and they go for it. And I think the Cincinnati team, I mean, they can't really protect Burrows, and the Ravens D is good. And I think it's just a hard game to win on Sunday night in Baltimore. So I know Cincinnati has some weapons, but I like this Baltimore team. I think Lamar's on his way to MVP. So give me the Ravens.
All right, let's go to the Ohio boy down I-71. What do you think of this game, Tony?
Yeah, Baltimore's they're playing really well. They get Dobbins back in the backfield. Lamar Jackson he has that chip on his shoulder. He wants to make Deshaun Watson money, to stay out of the massage parlors. I'm going to go Baltimore in this one. I think they're going to win pretty handedly. And by the way, speaking of handedly, I think in December, I'm going to meet William Zabka.
Where?
He's going to be at the Steel City Comic-Con.
I would love to have a podcast with that guy.
That's how I'm going to try and arrange. Get him on Mondays with Mazer.
He's so good on that Cobra Kai. Like, I can't believe he got typecasted the way I mean, he's like a good actor.
If you're going to get typecast, that's a pretty good roles to be typecast in. Just be the jackass of the '80s. I'm like, yeah, I could handle that. It's better than being the Ducky.
He was the quintessential Ducky. He was the quintessential '80s bad guy. He was the '80s bad guy, in my opinion, especially in those films. Commissioner.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens, despite John Harbaugh. You guys can love on John Harbaugh all you want. I think he makes you scratch your head. He does it every year. And, remember, they were 8-3 last year before they lost their last 7 games or whatever it was. But I'm taking the Ravens despite him.
Another spite pick. Nice.
Sound like Kevin Brennan. Full of spite.
Thanks, Brandt.
Just hate everything. Jesus.
I know. So negative.
Where's your fun brother?
I can't handle the negativity on this podcast. I'm going to go ahead and throw me in for the Ravens too. Earl, close it out.
I mean, these rivalry games are tough, especially in the AFC North. Like you could pick any combination of what game it is, whether it's Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Cleveland and Baltimore. But I do believe Baltimore at home, and Brandt's right. Lamar's just, you could tell he's amping up for a giant season. So anything can happen in these games, but I do like the Ravens.
All right, we got one game left. I want to go ahead and give myself a cheap plug. Get my dry bar special this Friday, October 7th. Go use the promo code Chad Zumock, and you can watch it for free for 1 month. I say watch it and then cancel so you can save money. That's what I say.
Wait, it's coming out this Friday?
This Friday.
Oh, congrats, dude.
Thanks, man.
How did you enjoy shooting it?
I shot it 1.5 years ago in Provo, and I just kind of lost faith. I go, just to give you, it was like 50% COVID capacity, and I just thought it was dead in the water. And then I got contacted by Keith. He's like, it's coming. And I watch it. I don't hate it. It's a good representation. Like I usually hate everything I do, but I kind of like this one. I think it's a good one. So if you could do me a favor, please watch it. Some people blow up on this, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I don't know if I get something out of it because as you know, I am canceled. Nobody wants to work with me. So let's make this thing go viral. Fucking Cindy won't even book me. See, that's where I'm at. We got the very last game. We got Monday night football, 8:15. We got Sam Tripoli's Las Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Kansas City's laying -7. Earl, who do you got, buddy?
I like the Chiefs. The Raiders are they're not very good, even though they did lose a lot of close games. Bad teams lose close games too. So, and by the way, I'll be opening up for Corey and Chad at a brewing company in Prim, Nevada. We're going to stop by Art Bell's house after and talk about aliens. Just kidding. I'll take the Chiefs. That offense is pretty explosive, and the Raiders are they're not as bad as their record would indicate, but they're not as good as people think they are. So this could be a blowout.
Commissioner.
Yeah, I'm with Earl. I'm taking Kansas City, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I think they're going to turn over David Carr at least a couple of times. But, yeah, I'm taking Kansas City.
Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to turn this will probably be get out of hand pretty quick. I'm going to watch episodes of Cannon after that.
Cannon.
Gary Cannon?
Speaking of openers.
A Quentin Martin production.
Damn, that's a deep cut there. Like, you got to be of a certain age range to get the Quinn Martin name drop.
Or what was was it Stephen J. Cannell, where he would throw the paper behind him when he's on the typewriter.
Yeah. Or sit, boo boo, sit, good dog, woof.
Or Mike Post. You know how much money Mike Post has? He's the guy who's done all the theme music to all those shows. Like,
all the music, exactly.
Pretty, but no one beats Dick Wolf. Like, successful TV shows for 50 fucking years. Like, he must be a billionaire. It's unheard of that success he has.
What was the company that they did the theme songs to Full House and all those shows in the early 90s? What were they called? Oh God.
Hanna-Barbera?
Yes.
No, Earl's knowledge stopped after 1989. He doesn't know what's going on in the 90s.
I gotta find that.
I think it was Jeff Lifshitz Productions.
How many theme songs did Alan Thicke do?
Two that I know of.
Yeah, but his show was going downhill, his talk show, when he had Wally George on. Ooh, boy.
Thick of the Night?
Yeah, he had Wally George on. Wally George was like the OG Sean Hannity on like public access TV. He was like the first like combat television guy. He was pretty funny.
Mike Post is 78 years old and has been doing music for TV since his late 20s.
And they're all successful shows. Like, even the Bombs are, 1 or 2 seasons, he still gets paid. His SAG checks must be like uncalculable. I know I've said that before on this show, but like, can you imagine Dick Wolf's checks he gets a month from Miami Vice to the 7 LA Law, criminal intent shows? Like, God damn.
Didn't Gary Cannon do audience warm up for Thick of the Night?
He probably did. I mean, Gary's the preeminent opener, and then he does stand up on the side.
By the way, I was thinking of Miller Boyette.
Oh, okay.
They were the ones who did Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, The Hogan Family, Bosom Buddies, Full House, Perfect Strangers, Family Matters, and Step by Step.
What about Valerie? They just did The Hogan Family?
Yeah, just The Hogan Family.
Screw
apparently.
Sandy Duncan.
And that was William Boyette's brother, right? Who was on Adam 12 and Dragnet.
Oh, I loved Adam. I mean, yeah. I mean, it seemed like Quinn Martin and Stephen J. Cannell. Like, if you take those two out of the game, there's no TV in the 70s and 80s. It's a blank screen.
This is why this is the greatest football podcast of all time. Nobody's doing this.
Well, shout out to Quinn Martin's kid, Cliff Martin. I used to play golf with him at Bel Air Country Club. Man, that guy got a lot of pussy back in the day.
All right, this is going out for free, so let's do the plugs. Let's go around the horn.
What, I got to make sure I have everything. I don't know if I got Brandt's from all the laughter.
You're supposed to keep it on track. That's why.
Or yours, Chad.
I'll take the Chiefs.
Chiefs. All right, let's go with the plugs. Ken, what do you got? You got anything going on?
I do. The Oval Room, Chad. I think I told you last week. I have the Oval Room. I'll be booking that starting in the spring in the historic Seaview in right here in South Jersey.
Dude,
I'll be booking my friend and Florentine, right? You and Florentine?
Yeah, we should do a show. Me, Florentine, Brandt, Earl, and Tony.
I think that would be great. So I got the Oval Room starting in the spring.
And we'll throw in Leslie Jones for diversity.
You're good, dude. The Skakel classic there.
Brandt, what do you got to plug? It's good seeing you as always. You're one of my favorite guys in comedy.
This is fun. I'm at LA Comedy Club in Vegas all next week. The whole week I'm there during Skankfest. So
are you in Skankfest?
No, I'm getting paid. I took the money in doing the shows, and then I'll let people from Skankfest come hop on the shows if they want. But I took the money in the hotel. I'm sure Skankfest will be fun, but I like to get paid. And then I'm here in Denver all the time. Comedy Works. I'm headlining Comedy Works November 10th, and I'm in Phoenix. I don't know. It's all on the. I was gonna say it's all on the website, but I rarely put it on the website. But just follow me on Instagram or wherever, and if you want to come see me, I'll tell you where to be.
So
I'm not good at this shit.
How far away do you live from downtown for you to take the hotel? Is it a hike?
Where, in Vegas?
Oh, never mind.
Oh no, I'm talking in Vegas. No. In hotel, I live right downtown Denver.
Dude, I'm so absent-minded. I thought you still lived in Vegas, and you live. Fuck it.
No. I'm in Denver. Which you said like 5 times on this podcast.
I don't know. I'm
still in Denver.
I had a rough day. I'm out of it. But yeah.
You're
so
good.
There's the plugs. Tony, what do you got?
I want to plug Mary Santora. She's recording her new special at the Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia in December.
Great.
And that's an inside joke. Check Your Brain podcast for free every Wednesday and patreon.com/Tony Mazer.
Earl, closing it out.
I'll be opening up for Lex Las Vegas at Rick's Rollin' Smoke Barbecue. That's an inside Vegas joke there. Inappropriate Earl, after you listen to this podcast, and the Comedy Store Wrestling podcast, where it's a little podcast that I'm literally on 4 podcasts right now that nobody listens to. Man.
Hey, man. I watch your football podcast or listen to it.
I appreciate that. No, the Comedy Store Wrestling one's getting a little steam because we just got clearance from WWE and AEW to get their talent on. Otherwise, we were relying on wrestlers we knew who lived in California, which is a very small group. So that's all. And then I'm at the Comedy Store. If you're ever in town, come there, and I'll. Although last night I had a roast battle comic give me a tag for a joke, and I finally felt how Tom Brady feels when Byron Leftwich sends in a play. Get out of town, dude.
All right, guys. That's week 5 in the books. We'll be back next week. Sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/rackme. Please watch my dry bar special this Friday. Use the promo code Zumock, get it for free. And that's that. Count the votes. Bring home the troops. Good night.